Hi, this is Luke Robbins, and this is my video for Space Invaders Final. Here on the attract screen, you can see instructions for starting the game, as well as points for each of the individual aliens. The UFO itself is either going to be 100, 200, or 300, depending on the outcome of a random number. So I guess let's just get started. Press S, and the game starts up. Immediately, the aliens start dropping their bombs, and those bombs impact the shield and wear it away. As I turn up the volume here, you can hear the sounds of the individual of the aliens cycling between those four. And then we've got a UFO, which has its sort of stressful sound playing that disappears once you hit it with a missile and explodes, gives you your points, and has its own unique sort of death sound. As I hit aliens, you can hear the sound, see the aliens go away, and have their little splat animation that disappears. There's also missiles can also impact bombs and destroy them, and there's a sound when those explode as well, and there's a bit of a missile bomb splat animation. You can kill aliens out of order, as you see. It doesn't have to be from the bottom up, they can hit the side. The UFO drops its own bomb, and as we destroy the grid here, you're going to see, I'm going to try and destroy the whole thing to show you the reset. You can only fire one missile at a time, and the missile hits the top. You can't go past a certain point with the ship because the move state changes. Right now I'm playing as player 1 with my score of 790, but if I die, I'll switch to player 2, and you see the ship animation and sound as it dies. Obviously this is not a true 2-player implementation, as much as I'd like to have had the time I wasn't able to before the wire here, but what I was able to do was give each player its own set of points and set of lives, maintained by a player manager, and so it switches back and forth. Each of them has 3 lives, and now I'm back to player 1. And then once both players, all their lives are gone, then the game is over. So let me kill this guy and reset the grid, and now we have a full set of aliens back. Probably one of the biggest modifications I want to make after the players, once the semester is over and I can keep working on this, is to have some real transitions in between sort of rounds to give the player a chance to get ready. Right now it's just sort of in media res that they get started here. So let me die a couple more times so you can see the end screen. Oh, and yes, of course, you can see the bombs have their own individual strategy. Okay, and play again. You can hit yes or no to end the game, and it displays the high score from the game. So now I've hit yes, and we've returned back from the game over screen and that state back to the attract state. So now if I hit S again, the game starts over from the beginning. The speed is back to being slow. The grid is returned to its actual original X and Y, and not just the rounds X and Y, because if you do multiple rounds, it will get 20 pixels lower each time. I can go over in painful detail all of the different collisions and things that are happening, but hopefully I'm giving a pretty good demonstration of what's going on right now. Destroying bricks, drilling through, and I'd say probably, let me destroy a couple of rounds of aliens so that I can just show you that remains kind of stable, and then with each round it will start out a little bit lower than before. So as I see these guys disappear, and now we have a new round here. That started a bit lower than before. And the stressful sound from the alien once again. Yes, getting the aliens back to their original position was a bit tricky. I had a ghost object manager separate from the game object manager that maintained its own linked list of game objects. consisting of shield bricks and aliens. And so once it came time to reset, either at the very end of the game or when an entire wave of aliens was destroyed, what it would do is it would recreate that list, just cycling through and recreating the original columns, and the aliens belong to the column that they belong to in the original one to make sure there are no bounding box issues. So we kill this guy if I can, and yep, and we're even lower than we were the second time. It doesn't go significantly lower. You can change that just by modifying that value. But as we can see, things are getting pretty quick. Alien synchronization is still sticking with that, as are the sounds. But once it gets very fast, it's almost just you can barely hear the difference between one. It's just kind of a deep hum. And just for the heck of it, let me finish up this round just to... And things are getting pretty intense. So let me finish up, die again. So the high score was 1630. So let's see the high score update to 2900 now. And now the game's over and we've had enough, so we're just going to hit no and exit. And that's about it. It was definitely a race to the finish here, but got a ton done over the last couple days. And like you said, things just sort of came together using those tools that we built. The observer was definitely a lifesaver in many situations, and so that was definitely the tool of choice at the end there. And let me just see if I've missed anything. So game cycling, completing levels that are getting faster, toggling bounding boxes. I did not demo that, so let me just very quickly go back in here. And if you hit B, you can see the bounding boxes show up. And you can see the bounding boxes responding appropriately. And resizing. And then if we hit H for hide, then it will disappear again. And there's the aliens. And that's about it. Okay. On to the next student.